Hi, Trev here from Trevs Bees, Facebook and YouTube. Today we're going to have a look through the monster, the Long Hive. I'm just going to show you how powerful this hive is, how many bees are in here. But we're going to concentrate not on how much honey or stores or whatever is in here, or it's just to show you how to put this hive back together again once I've pulled it apart without killing any more bees than you need to. This hive is seriously powerful. There is a lot of bees in here. And getting it back together again without killing half the bees is a significant mission. And this is one of the reasons why you need to get your smoker going and be confident using the smoker, because the smoker in this case is going to be putting the hive back together. Okay, what we want to do now is we want to try and put this hive back together again without doing any more damage to the bees than necessary. As you can see, we've got a couple of bees. Some of them are a bit grumpy. They're starting to beard up on the front of the hive. And this is where the smoker is going to come in friendly. Just watch what happens. Bit of smoke over the top, and you see that those bees disappear almost straight away. We've got a problem just down here because this is where this frame belongs. And I've got to get it back in there without killing too many bees. So I use rubbing the shoulders together as I slide it down to try and help prevent squashing the bees. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give that healthy smoke down there. That's got most of those bees gone off the shoulder. I can get this now, hold it up against the edge and just roll it down. And as I roll it down, the bees will get out of the way. Okay, just rubbing the shoulders thing. You see the bees climbing on the shoulders here. If I just push that up against the other frame, that'll squash those bees that are on there because they don't have anywhere to get out of it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide that down the shoulders of this frame so they move out of the way. There's only just enough room in here, I'll adjust that, for the one frame to fit in. So what do? Big smoke. Chase those bees down. Sit that in there on those shoulders. And now I can now push that down. Got it a little bit tight. Push that down there. And that's now in place. I can now press all the hot frames together. These ones were all together beforehand, and so now we've got all the frames back in place. Look at the bees hanging around. So now, how do we get queen excluders and such like back on? Well, pretty much by the same method. If we want, we can quickly clean these queen excluders. I don't usually bother with cleaning the queen excluders because I find that the bees fill them up to a certain level, and no matter what you do, they always fill them to that level. Then they get to the stage where they don't bother anymore, so I just leave them. So they get to about 20% full, maybe, and then they don't fill them. So now this is where the smoker comes in. What we want to do, we need to clear the bees away from here so they're not a problem to us. Note, we've got very few bees here now. We can now slide that back on into place, give it a bit of a rub as you go, and almost all the bees moved out of the way for us. Nice of them, isn't it? Now we do the other side. And now we've got the queen excluders on, pretty much that's going to stop the bees coming up. So just clean those ones off. And these ones, we'll do this side first. Slide it into place. Make sure it's all sitting well. We can have a look. That's all full of nectar. I rearranged these the other day. Don't need any smoke on this because there's not so many bees up here. But if we actually have a look, we find that the frames are nicely getting filled, almost capped. So it won't be long, we'll have to do a harvest. We can now do this side. And again, we've got mostly filled frames that are up here. I've just got 2 frames in here just to encourage the bees up here. This box, on the other hand, is mostly filled. So now we have frames like that. So they've filled this side up more than that side, but that's alright. I just swap them around a bit. Mainly because I know that all this area is all brood and they seem to be working directly over the brood. Not quite capped, but close enough. Next thing, propolis mat. Propolis mats go on so that this rim faces downwards, and then they build up propolis all around all the gaps like that. They're only light, they won't kill the bees, apart from a couple that get trapped in there. That sits on there. And I have these holes cut in here so my top feeders can go on top. Notice with this, everything comes up even. I've got an entrance way through here so I can inspect the bees, do what I like through the top of that hole. this great big plate sits over here, and I can shut that top entrance off. So I'll leave that in the hive and it just sits in there. The last thing, put the lid on. So even with a big hive like this, we don't need to kill too many bees. You're always going to kill bees when you work in a beehive. That's unfortunately just a fact of life. Live with it, get on with it. But you can lessen how many you kill. And that's why you need to learn how to use your smoker and get it going, so that when you've done all the work, at the end of the exercise, it's still all smoking well. That's why I use sacking. It keeps going for hours. So that's it from Trevs Bees on Facebook and YouTube. We'll catch you around in the beehive. Thanks for watching.